Hey guys, BushGuy412 here. I want to do a review today on the Card Sharp 2 by Iain Sinclair. This is a product that was provided by Iain Sinclair for review. And let's get right into this neat little product. Comes in a nice little container with instructions on how to fold it. And basically what this is, let me pull this out here, is kind of like a little origami knife, a little folding credit card sized knife. Meant for everyday carry or EDC. And at first glance it seems kind of like a little small, kind of ridiculous thing, but then, the more and more I played around with it this week, the more and more kind of useful I found it to be. Now what I did was I put this into, I carry for work every day a little business card holder. So what I did was I put this sucker in there for a week, and instead of using my normal pocket knife, I only use this for the course of the week, so I got to use it a good handful of times. And what I found was, this thing's tiny, fits easily into your wallet or like a business card holder or whatever, and provides no bulk whatsoever, and really easy to carry. And that was kind of the convenience of it, is when I would walk out the door, it was one less thing I had to grab was a knife to put into my pocket, and I found that kind of convenient. Now let's take a look at this thing. It does have a safety on it, so you cannot unfold this. You see this little green thing here. You just twist that around until you don't see any more green, and then it will open. And like I said, this is kind of like a little origami folding knife. It folds out like that. Do this right. That folds. And it snaps into place with these little tiny, little kind of rivet holes. Now, this is an amazingly thin knife, and of course the handle is made out of folded plastic. So this is not something you're going to, skin an animal with or cut, big heavy objects. But for a very light duty knife to cut envelopes, maybe boxes, things like that, this serves the purpose very well. I actually found it to be pretty convenient, and like I said, it's thin plastic. It's not meant to be a survival knife. It's meant to be a small, basically, utility knife. And the idea of a utility knife that you can fit in your wallet is pretty neat. I mean, this thing only weighs literally a couple of grams, So very cool thing. It has a little thumb jimping on it, which I was kind of surprised about. And altogether, when you're holding it, it's fairly sturdy. As you can see, it's not perfectly sturdy. It's a folding handle, so it's not. This isn't, like I said, it's not something you're gonna clean a rabbit with. It's a small utility knife. Now, this is available. Iain Sinclair offers this through their website. I'm going to put a link below to that. And they also, you can get these things on eBay, Amazon, a few other places. They run, it looks like the prices I've seen are from like $13 to like $20. So it's kind of a nice little budget item, and it's not gonna break the bank. I find it to be, kind of a useful little gadget, because if you're into everyday carry or EDC, we tend to have the biggest keychains on earth. We tend to have belts full of gadgets in little pouches. We tend to have our pockets full with knives and flashlights and things like this. This is an item that you can put away in another area, which is your wallet, your business card holder, even the front pocket of your shirt. And the cool thing is, I even tested out with this too, is my car has a little slot where you can stick like throughway tickets, and that fits in that slot perfectly. It's just, random coincidence, but in reality, this thing is probably going to stay in my car in that little tiny slot, because it's just an extra knife to have around in case of an emergency situation. Say I forget my primary knife or whatever. So I do consider this a really good backup knife, backup blade, a really good utility knife. Granted, you're not going to be able to get this thing out in a second. It does take a little time to fold out, but altogether, kind of a handy little backup to have. And what it lacks in ruggedness and durability of a real knife, it makes up for in its portability. That you can literally almost put this thing anywhere. And the good thing about EDC and everyday carry is the easier something is to carry, the more likely you are to carry it. If you put this in your wallet and forget about it, you're going to have it on you every day. As long as you don't forget your wallet, you got it. If you put this, in your car, it's something you're going to have every day. And plus, not only that, but this is kind of a convenient size to put into small survival kits and whatnot, just due to its size and shape, because it's really about the size of 2 credit cards. It has an excellent little backup. And, I think it makes a good backup, or it makes a good utility style knife. It's not, like I said, this is not something you're going to chop down trees with. This is a small utility blade, great for backups, great for emergencies, things like that. So, with that said, as I mentioned before, Iain Sinclair gave me this for review, and of course that review was no strings attached. And I do like that about a company. I do receive a lot of solicitations from people to review gear, but there's always that but, can you do this, can you do that, can you make it a good review? No questions asked. They provided this product and their Iain Classic flashlight, no strings attached. So, with that said, like I said, this thing does have limitations. It's not a big, sturdy, solid knife. It's a utility knife. It's small, it's kind of fragile, but it's something you can easily tuck away to use as a secondary or backup, and that's what I really like about it. It's small, it's inexpensive, it's easy to carry, you can put it about anywhere, and you can just forget about it, and it's there for that emergency when you need it. Or, for example, say you work in an environment where weapons are not allowed, like a hospital, a courtroom, a school, where weapons are just frowned upon. This is something you can put in your pocket and have a knife that's completely disguised as something else. Now, some of the questions I did, and one of the good things I did like about my dealings with Iain Sinclair in this is that I had, of course, several questions about the product, how it's made, and all that, and they were able to answer those in a very quick manner. And actually beyond what I expected from them. Most places, Gerber, if you email them with questions about their products, will just not respond back to you. In this case, I got responses back within hours. And first thing I asked was about the blade steel and if it's hardened or not. Because typically, small little utility blades are not hardened because, you just can't harden a blade that thin. So I did ask, and they told me that the blade is a 440C equivalent. It's not 440C, but it's an equivalent. And they provided me with information on the company that rated their steel. Now, because it's not hardened, it's not going to have the quality of a nice 440C knife. But let me let you in on a little secret of the world. Thin blades, utility knives, scalpels are not hardened. You can't do it. If you try and harden them, they come out like bacon. They warp. You'll never get them. They'll never be right. They won't be straight. You need thicker steel to harden it. So something like this, it's completely expected and normal for it not to be hardened, but it is a good steel. It's a 440C equivalent, which is probably the most popular steel for knives in the world. And wearing this, and keeping this in the pocket and folding this, I probably folded this and put this together maybe 100 times just to check durability. It's just as good as the day I got it so far. The coating on the blade hasn't come up at all. And cool thing is too is like there's no catch on the blade. There's no way this is going to catch on clothing if it's in your pocket or anything like that. And like when you fold it up afterwards, it's going to be a little not fold completely straight. But if you put this in like your wallet, it'll be just like new, the next morning. So it is pretty good. And plus, not only that, but if you're sitting on it, those folds are kind of helpful in that they kind of fold to the contour of your body, so you don't have to worry so much about it, like, warping or whatever. It does have a little fold and a little give to it. So overall, this is a really neat little product. Really happy with it. And, like I said before, this is just a really cool piece of gear, and this is actually going to go in this business card holder, and this is going to be something I carry on me every day. I normally carry a pocket knife, but you know what? Now I have a way to carry a secondary knife for utility purposes without ever having to think about it. And that is the true key to everyday carry, is having items so convenient that you don't have to think about using them or risk forgetting them. So I hope you enjoyed Card Sharp 2 by Iain Sinclair. Links to the product are below, available through the Iain Sinclair website, also Amazon and eBay.